Good morning, my lovelies. Welcome back to my channel. If you're anything like me, you buy beads and you think, what on earth am I going to do with them? So I bought this set to do some actually bead embroidery on some felt, but I thought, and then I bought loads and loads and loads and loads of bugle beads. So I thought, what on earth can I do with these? Yeah, are you like that? So we're going to today have a look at a really cute pair of earrings, which you can make with bugle beads. So I'm going to be using these guys today. These are like a gorgeous bugle bead with like a twist on them. Yeah, so we're going to be using those today. And we're going to be making these. Aren't these pretty? So we're going to make these. You can make them in any colour you like, anything to suit. You could use silver plated, silver sterling if you wanted. And with the bugle beads, you can make these gorgeous dangle earrings. Okay, so I'm just going to let you know the materials that you need and we'll get on and make these. Right, let's go through a list of materials to make these pretty things. Aren't they gorgeous? And they sit really, really beautifully in the ear. They're like, you know, fringe dangles. I love these. Just faffing around with wire and came up with these yesterday, actually, thinking about it. So what you're going to need is some 1.25, that's 16 gauge, bare copper wire. Again, like I say, you can use anything you like. You're going to need some 0.8, that's 20 gauge wire to make the dangle bits, okay, and the ear wires, yeah. And apart from that, you're just going to need some bugle beads. Now, you can use any length you like of bugle bead, you know, because they can, you know, bugle beads can come in really, really short or really long. It matters not. I will just measure these for you, just in case you're interested. And they are 1/4 inch or 7 or 8 millimeters, yeah. But like I say, this, you can, you know, use whatever size you like for this design. In fact, you can use seed beads if you wanted to. I'm just trying to get rid of a multitude of these beads. And after that, you're going to need a hammer and a block. Really, really, really cheap to buy, simple to use. You're going to need a mandrel of some description. I'm going to be using my ring mandrel, mainly because that's the one I have, just to bend the shapes around. And then you're just going to need your normal tools. And the rain has started. So normal tools and just your ruler. All right, so I'll come back when the rain's stopped and we'll get going and we'll make these pretty things. Righty-ho, righty-ho, let's get going. Let's not make this a long, exhaustive video. I do hope you guys are getting notifications through, yeah. Not sure what's happening with YouTube these days, but, you know, us creators don't seem to get very many views at the moment. Anyway, I just do this for fun anyway, but it's nice to know if you guys are there, so let me know in the comments. So what we're going to do, we're going to make the loop, the hoop first, all right? So take your 16 gauge wire, we're to flush cut the end as usual, chop, there we go. And I'm going to measure out 2 6-centimeter lengths. I will try and put that into inch parlance, but I use centimeters. So I will just cut one, but you know, obviously if you're going to make a pair of earrings, you're going to need 2. So 6 centimeters of your 16 gauge. I do hope you guys are all okay and the world is treating you well. Yeah, I think it's very, very important for us guys to be creative at the moment, just to sort of take away the stresses of modern life and the world as it is. Do you not think? So 6 centimeters is 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sixteenths of an inch. I hope that makes sense. You're going to need 2 of those. We're going to be making this loop here. So I come in with my 6-step bell making plier, and I always use the smallest mandrel for this kind of thing. And mine's a 2, so you know, you can use your round nose pliers if you want. And right at the very end, take it like so. Excuse my finger here. I know it doesn't look very nice on camera, but I've been doing quite a bit of hobbies recently, and I'm wearing the skin away on my finger. I think it's getting a bit calloused. Spot the hobbyist. And literally just bend around like that. And then again, in the same direction on the other side. Like this. Oh, I can hear the birds chirping outside. Isn't that nice? So there we go. So this is what we're looking for. So you want 2 of those, yeah? I then come in with my mandrel. So you can use whatever mandrel you like. You just want a shape that looks like that. So you want, you know, can you see? You just want that kind of shape. So if you don't have a ring mandrel and you're a beginner, don't worry about it. Just use, I don't know, a lip balm or, you know, something of that description. And you want to bend it around your mandrel. And I'm going to be going around the R sort of Q section. Just choose a size and bend it around like this, so that your loops are pointing backwards like that. Yeah, so literally just around your mandrel. If your little loops are sticking out slightly, which mine are a little, just come in and just give them a bit of a tap with your hammer. We're going to be doing some proper tapping in a minute, tap tap, but you want 2 of that kind of shape. All right, then we come in with our little block. Yeah, I'm going to roll through this pretty quickly because they're simple earrings, nothing too taxing, pretty but easy to make, perfect for the beginner, which my channel is geared towards a beginner because I'm pretty much a beginner myself. I'm just sort of showing you what I've been making and learning as I go, you know. So bring in your little block and you just want to hammer. I'll do it from the side because it's a bit easier. Oops. You just want to hammer. Yeah, on either side. Just move around your block. Just to give it a little bit of texture, like this. And then pop it back on your mandrel. If I can get hold of you, there you go. Just pop it back on your mandrel. I'm just going to squeeze mine in just slightly smaller. So it just brings it in a little bit like this. Because when you're hammering, you will find that your metal moves a little bit. So can you see that kind of shape that we're looking for? So that's the top of the earring. Don't hammer it too flat, yeah, because you want to be putting your ear wire on this top bit here. Oh gosh, too much fluff on this baize today. What's going on? I've cleaned it as well. Look at it, baize everywhere. I might have to change my surface. Oh, who knows? So just, you know, tidy things up a little bit. If things have, you know, you will be moving these in a minute, so don't worry too much. So you've got 2 of those. The next thing we need to do is to take another bar, another piece of wire to make the bar across, yeah, and that's half the size. So if you wanted to make these larger, just do half ratio, okay? So if you wanted to make a larger arc, use 8 and then use 4, you know, for this bar across. So as it stands, this was 6 and I'm going to be using 3 centimeters. So where's my rule? There it is. So cut off 3 centimeters. I hope this is making sense. I'm probably gabbing a bit today. It's Sunday, relaxation day. So I'm just sitting down and making some pretty things. Okay, so you want to then come in with your pliers. Where are my other little pliers? There they are. You want to come in with your little pliers. And what we want to do is just bend the wire, yeah, on either side in the same direction, right at the very, very tip of your wire, and then just grasp it firmly, bend it round like this. and then just squish a little bit. We are going to be giving this a little bit of a hammer in a second. Because what's going to happen is that's going to fit inside there very neatly, all right? And you will be doing it under tension, so there is a little bit of room for manoeuvre in bending this to fit. So I'll show you what I mean in a second. So again, right at the very tip, and then bend it over, and then squish that down a little bit. Okay, so as you can see here, you know, you'll probably have to pull that in a little bit under tension, but I'll show you what I mean in a second. So I'm just going to come back in with my block. There we go, not too much. You don't need an awful lot of hammering there, but then you do just need to close that back up, because like we know, when we hammer wire, it does spread a little bit, doesn't it? There we go. So there's our little bar. So again, you know, if you're making a pair of earrings, which we are, you just need to do that twice. Okay, right, so the next thing we want to do is to make our little dangles. So you can do this in like a production line. I've made mine ready here, but I'll just show you. So the dangles I'm using, oh, this silly wire coil again. Somebody gave me a tip the other day and I can't remember who you were. I'm so sorry, but thank you. I have been putting ribbon around and tying it to keep it secure, because it's extremely annoying. I'm going to flush cut the end like so. And each of these dangles is 4 centimeters long. So again, take your ruler and just cut your 4 centimeters like so. And then you're going to need 7 of these, all right? So make 7 of these lengths and I'll come back to you in a sec. Okie dokie, so all we need to do is just put a little bit of a loop on the bottom. If you want to make yours into head pins by using your torch, that kind of thing, go ahead. I'm not proficient enough with my torch yet to, you know, to show you on video. So I just use these little loop things at the end, because I just think they're pretty as well, you know, because I think it matches that little bit there. Yeah, so everything's sort of cohesive. So you're going to need 7 of these and make sure they're all the same length. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, so let's start constructing. So this is where you need to ensure that you don't attach these onto anything until you've made them all, because they all need to be the same length. Now, as you well know, not all beads are made equal, are they? So all I suggest you do is thread your bugle beads or your seed beads onto your wires, you know, your pins here, your head pins, and do all 7 of them. And then when you've done all 7 of them, put them next to each other, you know, to sort of measure one up against another. Just make sure that they are all pretty much the same length. So as you can see here, push them down, as you can see here. Yeah, they're pretty much the same length. So you want to do that with all 7 of them. So just do one more, just pop your beads on, your bugle beads. These little twisted, shiny bugle beads are really, really pretty. Again, some won't fit. Let's just call that one out, because they're not all the same, are they? Which is fine. It's a good way of using up your stash to make these really, really pretty. I think they're pretty anyway, these pretty fringe earrings. Okay, so when you've done that and every single one of these is the same length, we'll come back and then we'll construct it. Dead easy. And we're back, my friends. So as you can see here, I've lined all these up and they are pretty much the same length, aren't they? So you just need to make sure that the fringes are pretty much the same length, or indeed you could make a V-shaped fringe. So the center one is long and then sort of have them graded, you know, sort of, I don't know, 10 seed beads, then 9, then 8, then 7 if you wanted, you know, that kind of thing. These are just obviously just ideas for you. So all we need to do now is to make some loops in these. So I'm going to come in with my little round nose pliers, and you just need to make loops on the end like this, little loops on all of them. So just do that carefully, obviously making sure that you don't crack any of your beads. If you do, obviously, you know, they're cheap enough to replace, aren't they? So just make some loops like this. Yeah, so carry on and carry on, and then when all of those are made, I'll come back to you and we'll construct it. And we're back again. So now you should have 7 of these lovely little bars. So let's just pop those to one side for a second. I think what we're going to do now is we will construct the earring. All right, so we take the round piece, very, very carefully, I want to open up these loops like this. Oh, the neighbour's dog. If you can hear the neighbour's dog, apologies. So pop your bar through the first one so that this loop is sticking out at the side, and then just come in with your plier and close that up again. Where's my other plier? Let's see if I can do this to the camera so that you can see what I'm doing. Just close that up like this, so that that part is sticking out at one side. So what we want to do now is do the same on the other side so that those loops are facing downwards. Can you see that? So they're facing downwards. Now this is where we do it slightly under tension. So this needs to go inside there. So you need to very gently squeeze your loop and then close that up. Now it will bend slightly, but it's best if it's under tension and then everything is nice and secure. If that does happen, pop it back on your mandrel and just give it a bit of a reshape. No problem at all. You see? So we are now, and then just give it a bit of a tug, just so everything, so that this doesn't move around too much. This doesn't want to move around, okay? So we just give it a bit of a tug with our hands, okay? And there you can see that it's under tension and everything is nice and secure. So just pop. These look like they're sticking out a little bit. Just, it's at this stage that you just tidy things up a little bit, and there we go. So there's our shape, and all we want to do now is to put these little pretties on the bottom. Yeah, so all you need to do is open up the larger loops like this and pop it on and close it up. That's all you have to do with all 7 of them. Again, making sure that you don't crack your beads. I know sometimes bugle beads can be a little bit on the delicate side, can't they? You just close those up. And I won't pause the filming, we'll just go ahead and pop these on in real time. So basically you can see just how quick these are to make, super quick. And I think really, really versatile, because you can make them to suit an outfit. So if you're going somewhere and you need, I don't know, a pair of pale green earrings, you know, quickly make a pair. I quite like a dangle earring. I think they're very fun and exuberant, and, you know, if you're wanting to just make a bit of a statement, absolutely perfect. And I love how quick and easy these are. And versatile, you know, make them in all sorts of colours. I've made a pair of beautiful electric blue silver lined ones, really, really pretty. There we go, and just pop that on there like that, And there you have your little fringe. And all that you require now is an ear wire, which you basically pop on the top and let gravity do the work, so that when it hangs, everything hangs nice and straight. So, what do you think about those, my friends? Aren't they beautiful? Beautiful, beautiful. Dead quick and easy. Hope you enjoy making those. Let me know in the comments, number 1, if you're still seeing me, and number 2, what you think of the earrings, and number 3, what colours you're going to make. Aren't they gorgeous? So I'll see you in the next one, my friends. Have a good week. Bye.